Marianne, lost in Kensington. The cold wind howled through the streets of Kensington, Philadelphia, carrying dry leaves and torn papers across the cracked sidewalks. In the distance, sirens blended with the murmurs of lost souls wandering aimlessly. Among them was Marianne, a woman who once had a different life, a life she never imagined losing. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when she had a warm home, a stable job, and a family who loved her. But her fall was slow, almost unnoticeable until one day, she found herself with nothing, a path with no return. Marianne grew up in a middle-class neighborhood in Philadelphia. She loved literature and had a promising future. But her life changed when she met Jason, a man who introduced her to a world of intense emotions and silent dangers. She loved him, and when he offered her something to relax, she didn't hesitate. The problem with first times is that they often lead to second and third times. The feeling of escape, of forgetting, was too tempting. What started as curiosity became a necessity. She lost her job, drifted away from her family, and soon, her only priority was the next dose. Heroin took hold of her without her realizing it. At first, she kept up appearances, but addiction is neither patient nor merciful. Her apartment became a prison of broken promises until she could no longer afford the rent. One night, with a bag of clothes and not a single dollar, she left her home, never knowing she would never return. The streets of Kensington. Kensington welcomed her as it does everyone, without questions and without answers. Under bridges, on street corners, among shuttered stores and abandoned buildings, Marianne found company in those who had fallen before her. She became another shadow roaming the streets, seeking relief in needles and plastic bags. Days blurred into nights. She stole when she could, begged when desperation took over. At some point, she stopped looking in mirrors. She couldn't face the hollow-eyed woman staring back at her. Sometimes memories of her old self surfaced. The girl who read books until dawn, the daughter who made her mother laugh, the woman who once had dreams. But those memories hurt too much, so she drowned them with another dose. The last whisper. One particularly cold night, Marianne felt her body failing. She hadn't eaten in days, her skin was pale, and her heart pounded erratically. She dragged herself to a sidewalk, leaning against a graffiti-covered wall. "I don't want to die here," she whispered. Her eyes grew heavy, her breathing slower. Maybe this would be her last night in Kensington. Maybe by dawn, she would be just another forgotten body on the streets of a city that had learned to ignore the fallen. But at the last moment, when everything seemed lost, a warm hand touched her shoulder. "Come on, it's not too late," a voice said. Maybe there was still hope.